Welcome back here on the shores of Lake Guntersville. We are inside 10 minutes to the start of our first heat of H1 Unlimited Racing. It's presented by Allen Land Surveying, and we would certainly like to take this opportunity to thank them for their participation in our event. A special thank you to Brandon and his team at Allen Land Surveying for all of their work on our race course. We are very proud. We're also very fortunate here in Guntersville to have a certified world record course on Lake Guntersville. And this is indeed one of the fastest race courses in the world. That's why your organizers of this race work very closely with Allen Land Surveying, Brandon and his team, to make sure this course is certified, because it's quick. And if somebody does a real quick one like we saw last year, it's a world record that can be recorded. So our first heat of H1 Unlimited Racing, it's heat number 1. It's coming up inside 10 minutes. It is presented by Allen Land Surveying. It's going to feature the 91, the black and gold and white Miss Goodman Real Estate. It is driven by Andrew Tate. They were our top qualifier. They're going to be joined by a whole lot of Tennessee Orange. It's the U40, the Bucket List Racing, and Dustin Eccles. He will be behind the wheel of that one. Then it is our defending national high points champion, J. Michael Kelly, driving the bright red, trimmed in yellow Beacon Electric. That boat is U1. And rounding out our 4-boat field is the black, red, and white Miss Mercury's Coffee and Jamie Nielsen. The 91, the 40, the 1, and the 11, or as I like to say, Tate, Eccles, Kelly, Nielsen. Let's go take a look at the clock. We are inside 8 minutes to the start. Inside 8 minutes. Our boats can come out on the water at the 6-minute mark. Typically, as I said before, that is a 5-minute clock, but they can come out at 6 minutes because of the distance they need to travel across Lake Guntersville. So this is it. We got a 5-race season coming up in 2024 for the H1 Unlimited Hydroplanes. And this is our first heat of the summer. Looking at the clock, 7:20. 7:20 until our start. Again, boats can come out at the 6-minute mark. And we've had our conversations about this new start procedure. We've done our best to explain it. And I, right along with all of you, are going to see this for the first time. It should be interesting. It should be fun. Let's see how it works. Remember, the dreaded 80-mile-an-hour rule is gone. We've been joking all weekend that it's buried right there in the sand. That's where we buried, Ashley, the 80-mile-per-hour rule. It's right there. Yes, it was. The question that just got put in my ear was the U9, the Beacon Plumbing, Corey Peabody's ride. Did they get the commissioner's option after failing their 2 qualification attempts based on fuel flow? And the answer to that is yes, a definitive yes. Darrell Strong's 2 boats, the 1 and the 9, will both be competing on an equal footing with everybody else here for the Southern Cup. The only thing they forfeited was any points in qualifying. So yes, they will run in our heats of racing for the Southern Cup. Thank you to our fan for asking that question and pointing out to me the fact that I forgot to point that out to you, our racing fans. So looking at the clock, Corey, hit me with a backhand if I get in your way. Everybody's looking at the same place, and we all keep inching out a little bit further to see this clock, which right now says 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Boats can come out on the water, and we've got boats moving over on the other side. So here we go. Allen Land Surveying, H1 Unlimited, Heat 1. Andrew Tate, Dustin Eccles, J. Michael Kelly, Jamie Nielsen. The Miss Goodman Real Estate. It's black, it's white, it's trimmed in gold. Tennessee Orange is the Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles. Bright red, trimmed in yellow, is the U1, the Beacon Electric, J. Michael Kelly. And rounding out our 4-boat field, and we're going to go 3 times around, rounding out that 4-boat field is the U11, the Miss Mercury's Coffee. So your colorblind announcer here is going to pick these guys out, but I think I've got, that's JMK that is headed toward the top end of the race course. J. Michael Kelly, the boat carries a number U1. That is indicative of he being the 2023 H1 Unlimited National High Points champion. again, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen in this start procedure. This is going to be fun to see how the drivers want to do it. This is JMK, J. Michael Kelly, driving the U1, the Beacon Electric, last year's defending National High Points champion and APBA Gold Cup champion. Right behind him here comes the...
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time from home? I'm on a mission.
Black, red, and white U11 Miss Mercury's Coffee. That is Jamie Nielsen. Here comes Dustin Eccles. He'll come across start-finish line in the Tennessee Orange and Black and Yellow Bucket List Racing. And looking forward, here's our first little change to the starting procedure. We see the 3 boats come out and go across the start-finish line. They're all down to the bottom end of the race course. Andrew Tate says, yeah, I don't think so. He's got another idea. Here comes Andrew. He's coming slowly off the top end of the race course. He clearly did not want to be with the rest of the guys, so his start sequence is going to be a little different. Whether we change the start procedure or not, this is what we refer to as the race before the race. And we're 3 minutes and 34 seconds from the start. Now, here comes Jamie Nielsen. He is cutting across the race course. He's cutting across from the back stretch to the front stretch, and he's doing it at what we call the top end of the race course. That is a perfectly legal maneuver. He can cut that course from the front stretch that he's on now. He could go to the back stretch now if he wanted to at the bottom end of the race course. Looks like Andrew Tate's going to come across as well, but Jamie Nielsen's going to run down to the bottom end of the race course. Now, we're starting to approach, we are approaching 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the start. It is the 90-second mark, 1:30. The guys have to be behind the start-finish line. Oh, here we go with a cut across the race course here by Andrew Tate. So Kelly's going to come off the lower corner down there, and he's going to get from his radio man that is Andrew Tate coming across the race course right in front of him. J. Michael Kelly has the right-of-way there. He is the driver on the race course, and Andrew Tate yielded to him. He let him go by. Now watch Andrew. He will, unless he lost power without wanting to, he has set the boat down. Now, again, this is part of the new rule involved because previously he is violating an 80-mile-an-hour rule as he is not moving up there. Now, he could be doing this. He's either got a problem or he's doing this because he wants to. We won't know that just yet. We're going to assume this is what he is wanting to do. But this is part, and here he goes. Now he's going to fire it up. So this is part of the new start procedure. That would have been a violation a year ago with the 80-mile-an-hour rule. This is part of the trolling we've talked about. Now look at the boats going slowly at the top end. Andrew trying to pick this thing up and get it up on a plane. Keep an eye on him. He's trying hard to spool this thing up and get her rolling. Meanwhile, coming off the top end of the race course, that's J. Michael Kelly in lane number 1. He's got Jamie Nielsen sitting right with him in 2. And Tate is really pushing things right now as we are inside 90 seconds. So obviously very, very legal at the score-up buoy. Everybody was clearly way behind it at the minute 30-second mark. Kelly and Nielsen appear to be okay. It's Andrew Tate who couldn't get the boat up on a plane. He was really fighting it up the backstretch. He has really got himself in a big hole here. And this is part of what we talked about. If you want to shut the boat off, sometimes it takes a little longer to get the boat back up and running. But here comes Andrew, and he's going to be struggling to catch up with the team. And yes, he does have to go all the way around the race course. He cannot cut that course and get over to the backstretch. He's got to go all the way around. So we're going to look at our 3 leaders as we're inside 45 seconds to the start. Now we're inside 40. Lane number 1 is going to go to J. Michael Kelly. Lane number 2 is going to go to Jamie Nielsen in the Mercury's Coffee. J. Michael Kelly is in 1 in the Beacon Electric, and then in lane 3, currently on the outside, is Dustin Eccles in Bucket List Racing. Now look at Andrew Tate as he starts to reel in the field at the 20-second mark. Andrew, he may be okay. He may be okay. Again, we just don't know the timing mark here, but it's going to be J. Michael Kelly in 1, Jamie Nielsen in 2. In lane number 3 is going to be Dustin Eccles, and on the outside and trailing the field, it is going to be Andrew Tate. We are inside 5 seconds. We're 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. The start appears to be clean, and it was Dustin Eccles who broke the clock. Tate was able to catch up to the field, kind of. He is on the outside, but he's trailing by about 5 or 6 boat lengths as he gets down to the lower end of the race course. First boat we see making the corner, J. Michael Kelly, driving a Beacon Electric, but look to the outside of him. He's got company. He's got Dustin Eccles in the Bucket List Racing on the outside. He is in second place. He's running in lane number 3. The start was clean. In third place is Jamie Nielsen in the Mercury's Coffee, and Andrew Tate. Don't count him out. But don't count out Dustin Eccles. He is staying right in that right side rear view mirror of J. Michael Kelly. He's to the apex of the corner. Remember, fans, we're going to go around 3 times. Kelly still with the lead. Where's Dustin? There he is. Dustin is staying right with him. Good racing here in our Heat 1 presented by Allen Land Surveying. This is going to be good. It is Kelly. He's out by about 3 boat lengths on Dustin Eccles and Bucket List, and now in third place it is Andrew Tate. Tate has gobbled up the U11 of Mercury's Coffee at the end of lap number 1, but the race is out front. J. Michael Kelly, Beacon Electric U1. Right side rear view mirror is full of Tennessee Orange, and that's Dustin Eccles. Andrew Tate's running a big race course, but he is closing in slowly on our 2 leaders, and you cannot see Dustin Eccles. He is right there with J. Michael Kelly. Oh, this one's not over at all. Remember, we go 3 times around. This will be the completion of lap number 2. Kelly out front by a couple of boat lengths now, looking for Dustin. Where is he? Oh, there he is. H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing at its very best. J. Michael Kelly, Beacon Electric, Dustin Eccles trying to gobble him up on the outside. Tate's still in the picture, but he's going to run out of real estate and run out of time. Oh boy, I just got a message I did not know. Apparently we're going 4 times around. I did not know that. That one didn't get caught, but apparently they're going to go 4 times around. It's going to give Dustin more time, but Dustin's right there again with JMK. Up the backstretch now. It is still J. Michael Kelly. That looks like 1 hydroplane over there. It is 2. And now we can see the air scoop on the Bucket List Racing. He is pulled up alongside. They can look out the window and talk to each other. Kelly in 1. Dustin Eccles in 2. Outstanding racing here in our first heat of the day, presented by Allen Land Surveying. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than this in H1 Unlimited Racing. They should come down and get the white flag, and they do. We're going to go one more time. Eccles on the outside is closed to 2 within 1 boat length. 1 boat length as we start our final lap. Down to the lower end of the race course, Kelly, who do we see? There is J. Michael Kelly in lane number 1. You see the importance of that lane. But somewhere out there is Dustin Eccles. He is lurking. And there it is. We see the boat one more time. You can see the air scoop right behind the wing and the fairing on J. Michael Kelly's bright red Beacon Electric. Dustin Eccles, Bucket List Racing, right there with J. Michael Kelly. This is going to be a drag race off the top end of the race course. Doesn't get much better than this in H1 Unlimited Racing. 2 boats side by side for 4 laps. Where's Dustin? There he is right there. Look how close he's staying to Mike. And now it's going to be a run to the finish line. J. Michael Kelly in 1. It is going to be Eccles in 2, and Kelly's going to hold on and get him. Or is he? Yes, he did. Holy cow, that was close. Oh, I thought he was going to get him easy, and then all of a sudden, Eccles really closed over the last couple hundred feet. Oh, my goodness, is that really what we're going to do all summer long? That is awesome. Oh, that was fun. J. Michael Kelly on the water is your winner. Dustin Eccles, driving Bucket List Racing, will come home in second place again on the water. Our top qualifier, Andrew Tate in the U91, the Goodman Real Estate, will come home in third. And our 4th place finish.
What compels?
Coming up now is our Heat 2 for H1 Unlimited. This one is going to be sponsored by Allen Land Surveying, sponsoring our Heat 2 of H1 Unlimited. This fast super speedway on the water here on Lake Guntersville is certified for world records thanks to Brandon and the team at Allen Land Surveying. Thank you, guys. Brandon, you and your team, you do a heck of a job. You got a mighty fast race course here, and we're going to see some pretty hot speeds right here in this one because we got a real heat coming your way. We'll get the rundown here shortly, but we're monitoring the clock. In fact, we're inside 5 to the 5. Is that correct?
It is correct.
All right, so got my able-bodied assistant here. Erica Allreed's going to help me a little bit as the boats come out on the... That thing scares me to death when you put that drone right next to me. That thing takes off. I could lose fingers. Our drone guys are absolutely amazing with what they have done here. But let's take a quick look at the race course, and not so much the course, but the 4 boats that are going to come out in H1 Unlimited Heat 2. It's going to be the U-27, a brand new boat. The Miss Apollo with Dave Villwock. It is red, white, and blue. And the guy who's had some trouble so far today, the U9, the pretty much predominantly white boat trimmed in kind of the electric blue, the Beacon Plumbing, he's our defending Guntersville champion. And that would be Corey Peabody. Made 2 runs at the clock during qualifying today. Didn't get any points. Both were taken away for violations. They end up with 0 points after the qualifying. And I know they're not happy about that, but we do know the boat is extremely fast. Then we've got the U91, the Goodman Real Estate with Andrew Tate. And I'm telling you what, whatever the start procedure was for Andrew Tate in the first one, he's going to do something different in the second one because his boat went down. He may have wanted to do that as part of his start procedure without the 80-mile-an-hour rule. That's a legal maneuver, but it took him forever to get the boat back up and running. When he did, he was way behind the field, and he could never really dig out of the hole. He started in. We'll turn him loose at the 6-minute mark. We are there. Erica, I'm going to step out around there and get a better view because I'm not missing these boats.
Understandably.
So if you'd like to follow me around here, I got to carry all my little papers and stuff. Dan Ford, I'm going to try and step behind you here if I can and just get through this little tunnel. I'm getting better at it. Erica, you can come out and join me out here. Oh, she's going to stay back there. All right. 5 minutes and 12 seconds. We got boats out on the race course. Here comes Erica. She's going to come over and stand next to me where we can watch this thing. And I want Erica to come here because 1, 2, 3, 4 boats are now moving out of the pit area. We got 3 entering the top end of the race course. But I think it's interesting that Bucket List Racing and Dustin Eccles had such a great race with J. Michael Kelly in our first heat of the H1 Unlimiteds today. You had an opportunity to talk with Dustin. What did he have to say about that first heat?
Yeah, chatting with the U40 driver, he said after his qualifying time and that first heat performance, he has a lot of confidence in himself, the boat, and the team's game plan going into the weekend. He said he and the team really worked on the way the boat handles in the off-season, and it paid off in big ways, Brad. And now he said the focus is creeping back up in speed, so I'm curious to see if he can do that here in Heat 2.
Very good. Our fans are just going to notice that Andrew Tate just came across the start-finish line, and just out the right side window was Corey Peabody and the Beacon Plumbing, the U9, following him down there to the lower end of the race course is that bright orange boat driven by Dustin Eccles, with whom you spoke. We look up toward the other end of the race course. Here comes Mr. Villwock, and I think you had an opportunity to talk to Andrew Tate as well, and I'm curious what he might have had to say given the situation he had with the boat being behind the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Despite that, Andrew Tate described his boat as beautiful and has everything it needs to be out front and successful, and that's proven in its track record. However, he said he's still learning the hull and fine-tuning things, but that'll come just with time in the driver's seat. He said despite the adjustment, he's already been incredibly impressive in the preseason and in qualifying, and he said Heat 1 was simply just a driver error that he has since learned from.
Yeah, and when they do something like that and have a driver's error like that, the only thing they can do is just erase it from the memory.
Absolutely.
It's not going to do you any good to talk about it. And it looks like we just re-racked the tape here. And with Andrew Tate and Corey Peabody, you want to talk about 2 of the most competitive guys on the planet. Those are them right there. They both want to win. The other boat in the heat that we didn't talk about, but he came across start-finish line here while we were chatting, was the brand-new U-27 Miss Apollo with Dave Villwock. Here comes Dustin Eccles across. Now, watch this. Now it gets a little bit fun. Here goes Dustin. Going to cut the race course. He's going to jump over to the backside. So when Andrew and Corey come off the lower corner, their radio guys are going to say, yeah, well, that boat in front of you is Dustin Eccles. So Eccles is now going to jump over there. Let's see if Dustin doesn't pin this thing on the buoy row and try and garner an inside lane. But again, remember, we don't know exactly what this start procedure is going to look like. They're all trying to feel it out a little bit. And indeed, Dustin did go to an inside lane. Dave Villwalk cut the race course. He's going to go up there behind everybody. Remember, you have to stay behind the start-finish line at the 90-second mark, 1 minute and a half. Right now, we just went inside 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am very impatiently waiting to see Dave Villwalk at a race pace. Given the times that he set in testing and qualifying sessions, it's going to be hard, like you said, with the new procedures before the race, but I'm very excited to see him at race pace.
Yeah, I still think they're going to take this thing easy, though. They are still sorting that boat out, but we're about to see. We're coming up on 5 seconds to the 30 seconds before the start. And now it is, by my look, 130, and it looks to me like everybody is legal and behind the score-up buoy. Now, this is interesting because Corey has a lot of speed. It was a clean score-up. Corey's got speed on the outside. If he can get 5 boat lengths on those 2 boats off to his left, he could move left. I don't know. That would be awfully close. He's trying to do it. You see Andrew and you see Dustin trying to stay with him and not let him get enough overlap. Tough to see from here how that worked, but Corey did. Corey moved to the inside. He didn't get all the way to the inside, but he went from lane 3 into lane 2. He pushed Andrew out a lane. Dustin still able to hold on to that inside lane. Now, whatever lane they are in, when they go past the entrance buoy at the top end of the course, that's the lane they have to race in to the start-finish line, but it's going to be Dustin Eccles in lane number 1. It's going to be Corey Peabody in 2. It's going to be Andrew Tate in 3. Not surprisingly, we're going to have Dave Villwalk on the outside coming up on 25 seconds to the start. It is H1 Unlimited, Heat 2, presented by Allen Land Surveying. 4 boats at the top end of the race course. Oh, this could be fun. Get your camera ready, fans. This might be a real good look. Coming up on 12 seconds off the top end. That's usually my unofficial timing mark. Here we go. Eccles in 1, Peabody in 2, Tate in 3, Villwalk on the outside. We're still 2 seconds, 1 second. Mark. Oh, boy, I think once again we may have some gun jumpers, and I think by my look, the first legal starter may have been Andrew Tate in lane number 3, but I'm not going to do that. We'll call them on the water the way they are. And coming off the corner in that position is lane number 1, Dustin Eccles, driving the U40 Bucket List Racing. I think what he's got right with him there is Corey Peabody in the U9. You know, there's 2 boats there. There's actually 3, but I think Corey is the one that is tight to Dustin as they get to the top end of the race course. Remember, we're going to go 4 times around. Now the big walls of water off the skid fins up there. Dustin Eccles in the Bucket List Racing, but I'm not sure about that start. We will wait until we get it officially. But there's a heck of a race going on in second place between Corey Peabody and Andrew Tate. They come down to put one in the book. It's Eccles, it's Peabody, it's Tate in that order. Tate and Corey Peabody are side by side as they go down to the lower end of the race course. Again, we're checking and monitoring the official radio to see what it looks like. And Dustin has lost power. Dustin has lost power at the lower end of the race course. He is down. Now you've got your 2 boats side by side coming off the corner. There may be a question or 2 here about somebody jumping the gun. But at the end of the day, you got 2 guys shooting it out up the backstretch here, halfway, 2/3 of the way up on lap number 2 of 4. Now we'll see what kind of an advantage Corey Peabody has on that inside lane. Andrew Tate's got to give him 30 feet of lane space off the buoy. He's going to hold him in tight, but he's going to give him enough room. Corey with a nice corner up there. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Tate drove him real clean. But look at these 2 guys coming down to complete lap number 2. It is Andrew Tate out by about a boat length and a half on Corey Peabody. You said, Andrea, that you said Andrew was really happy with his boat. Well, it's running extremely well right now. Now, Corey, because of that inside lane, takes the lead, but there is Andrew Tate. We are on lap number 3. Still monitoring the H1 Unlimited radio to find out if somebody jumped, because I think we had a couple, but we're going to call them the way they are in the water. And right now, the way they are in the water is Andrew Tate Goodman Real Estate at the 2/3 mark of the backstretch. He's got about half a rooster tail on Corey. Watch Corey in this top end of the race course and see if he can gobble up Andrew there. Andrew's having some incredible acceleration off of the corners. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, Corey hung it way up in the air on the right side. He was able to land it. He went through the rooster tail of Andrew Tate, and now Tater's going to come down, pick up a white flag with 1 to go. Corey, you put our hearts in our throat on that one. He landed it, he brought it back down, but there was some time there that, well, the drivers will like to tell you it's just spamming a can. You are along for the ride at some point in that. Oh, boy, Corey. All right, now up the backstretch on the white flag lap, it is all Andrew Tate. Again, if they were to ask me, and they won't, but if they were, I believe I would tell you that Andrew Tate was a legal starter. He was certainly appeared to be clean from our vantage point here on start-finish line. I think he's going to come down, pick up a checkered flag, and I think at least on the water, he is going to be our winner of H1 Unlimited Heat 2, presented by Allen Land Surveying. Here comes Andrew. He will look to the right, and he'll get a checkered flag. Andrew Tate Goodman Real Estate. Nice driving, Andrew. And here comes the young man to put our hearts in our throat for a while. He really hung that right sponson for a long time. And it's really a dangerous position when you pick up the outside sponson like that and then you stick it in a rooster tail as Dave Villwock comes home in 3rd place. It's really...
With Chevy...
Welcome back to the shores of Lake Washington. What? Where did that come from? But not this time. He was able to pick the boat up, get it running. He was late, but he picked up 3rd place points, and that's the whole idea.
Well, better show for the fans, for the sponsors, everyone involved. We don't want to DSQ for somebody for something like that. So I was glad to see that it came up right away, and Andrew got himself back in the heat and was racing and all good. And I think I see a rooster tail over there.
We got a couple of them coming. In fact, make that 3. We're looking for 4 boats to come away from the dock. I count 1, 2, 3. Now there is number 4 at the 5-minute 20-second mark. It is H1 Unlimited Heat 3 presented by the Guntersville Water Board. Guntersville Water Board, Mike Denslow, they've been on board here a number of years with sponsorship dollars for this event. I don't have to tell you, sponsorships are so critical. We thank Guntersville Water Board for their participation.
I've heard that name a lot as you've been calling the races here since 2018, and I think back to that Jimmy Shane, Andrew Tate final heat in 2018, and of all the races that have happened in the last 10 years, I've probably watched that one more than any other race.
That was an awful lot of fun. Well, that was an interesting race across the lake, if you will, because Corey Peabody appeared like he wanted to come across here first and get himself established, and Jamie Nielsen said, you know what, and he ran right up alongside him. And now Corey is kind of giving it a little squirt. He's going to come down the front straightaway first. This is going to give us our first opportunity to see our boats in our Heat 3 H1 Unlimited Heat presented by the Guntersville Water Board. It's U9, the defending Guntersville champion. That is Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Here comes the Miss Mercury's Coffee. I know you really like this one. Talking about sponsors, we got a brand new one right here, Mike. That's pretty good stuff.
Mercury's Coffee and Morgan Harris out of the Seattle area. Yeah, we're excited to have them on board for sure.
And how about this? You got the defending national high points champion, the red boat on the inside, and that guy on the outside. He's won a few times before. The winningest driver in the history of H1 Unlimited Racing, Dave Villwock, got that brand new craft. Always good to see a new boat on the water.
And isn't it amazing how it's showing really well right out of the box?
Yeah, I think his second run that he did on Friday, I think they touched a 163, and we're talking about a new sponsor with Mercury's Coffee, Apollo Mechanical, out of the Tri. You know those guys.
Absolutely, yeah. We were really excited to bring them on board for the Tri-Cities race, the Seattle race, and on a boat, on a brand new boat driven by Dave Vilwalk.
Going to be good. 3 minutes and 15 seconds to the start. Now, we'll watch our start procedure come into play. Mike and I will try and do our best to describe it, but the bottom line is 80-mile-an-hour rule is gone, and you have to have your boat behind the start-finish line at 90 seconds. That really never came into play yesterday, Mike. Nobody got close to the line at 90 seconds. We'll see how they play it today. I think we're going to see different strategies as the day plays out. The first thing I noticed this morning, Strong Racing, Corey Peabody, they had the saltwater snorkel on yesterday. It's gone now.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. So, yeah, Corey's got to make up some points to guarantee himself for the final, so that'll be fun to see. The big thing with the starting procedure is wanting 4 boats hitting start-finish right on time. So I'm glad we put that into play, and yesterday worked out well. I talked to Andrew, and he just made a mistake. He got going too slow and killed it, but then he was able to get back in the race.
And we know with this new start procedure, some of what we might see is a little bit of trolling, and we've got a little bit of it going on right now as J. Michael Kelly is approaching the entrance pin to turn 2 at the top of the race course. He's barely moving. Teammate Corey Peabody's going to come right up there with him. Where is Dave going to stick his boat? I'm going to assume he is going to go to the outside. Meanwhile, Jamie Nielsen has got himself parked in lane number 1 coming off the top end of the race course. Now, looking at the clock, the minute 30 will come into play. We've got a minute 45.
Oh, they'll be fine.
They're going to be fine, but I'm expecting the boats to come up with more speed and surprise Jamie. Jamie's now being told go ahead and go because we're five seconds away from a minute 30. He's going to be fine and legal, and he's going to be sitting in lane number 1. 130 right there, clearly legal. Jamie pulled off another one.
Yep, Jamie has a way of doing that. He did that in Madison last year and smoked everybody.
Now, lane 1 is not his yet because the commitment